Have you ever noticed something strange about money? For most people, saving the first few $1,000s feels almost impossible. Every paycheck disappears before the month ends. A car repair, a medical bill, a broken phone, one unexpected expense can erase months of progress. It feels like you're climbing a mountain made of sand. For every 2 steps forward, life pushes you 1 step back. Eventually, you start asking yourself one painful question: will I ever get ahead? Here's the surprising truth. Almost everyone who eventually became financially comfortable asked themselves that same question. Not because they were lazy, not because they earned huge salaries, but because the beginning of every financial journey is the hardest part. And that's exactly why so many people quit too early. They believe that if saving still feels difficult, they must be doing something wrong. But they're not. They're simply going through the toughest stage of building wealth. Now let me ask you something. What if one financial milestone quietly changed almost everything? Not because it makes you rich overnight, but because it changes the way you think. For many people, that milestone is around $20,000. No, where life won't magically become perfect. You'll still have bills, unexpected expenses will still happen, and you'll still need to work. But something more important begins to change: your relationship with money. Imagine pushing a heavy car. At first, it barely moves. Every bit of effort feels exhausting. Then suddenly, the car starts rolling. You're still pushing, but now it feels much easier. The hardest part is creating momentum. In the beginning, you're focused on survival, paying bills, avoiding debt, trying to save whatever you can. Every month feels like a battle. But once you build a meaningful emergency fund, fear slowly begins to lose its power. Real wealth doesn't begin with luxury cars or expensive houses. It begins the moment you stop worrying about every single dollar. Think about the last unexpected expense you faced. Did you panic? Did you immediately wonder where the money would come from? For millions of people, that's normal. Not because they're irresponsible, but because they don't have enough financial breathing room. Now imagine facing that same problem again. Instead of asking, "How am I going to survive this?" you ask, "What's the smartest way to handle this?" But your mindset is completely different. And that mindset changes every decision you make. When people constantly worry about money, their brain focuses only on survival. Planning becomes harder. Patience disappears. Long-term thinking fades away. That's why financial stress often leads to poor decisions. Not because people are bad with money, but because fear controls their thinking. A financial cushion changes that. Your mind becomes calmer, and calm people make better decisions. That's the first hidden lesson of building wealth. It's not about becoming rich. It's about becoming calm, because a calm mind sees opportunities that a stressed mind misses. The biggest reward of saving your first $20,000 isn't the money itself, it's the confidence you build. Every dollar saved tells your brain, "I can trust myself. I can stay disciplined. I can think long-term." Those beliefs become powerful. At first, saving $1,000 feels impossible. Then $5,000 feels achievable. Eventually, $20,000 makes you believe that financial freedom is actually possible. And once that belief changes, your behavior changes too. You stop asking, "Can I ever become financially free?" Instead, you ask, "How much further can I go?" That single question changes everything. Because from that moment, you're no longer just trying to survive. You're finally learning how to build wealth. By the time most people save their first $20,000, they think they've reached the finish line. But the truth is, they've only reached the starting line. Because from this point forward, your habits become more important than your income. At first, earning more feels like the answer. You work overtime, start a side hustle, look for better opportunities, and that's important. But eventually, what matters isn't just how much you earn, it's what you do with what you earn. Imagine 2 friends, both earn the same salary, both receive the same raises, but they make different choices. One upgrades his lifestyle every time his income grows. A bigger apartment, a newer car, more expensive vacations. The other increases his investments first. He improves his lifestyle slowly, but builds assets consistently. 5 years later, their incomes are similar, but their financial lives are completely different. One still depends on every paycheck. The other watches his investments grow. The difference wasn't income, it was consistency. That's how real wealth is built. Not through luck, not through perfect timing, but through small, smart decisions repeated over time. As your savings grow, you also begin spending differently. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" you start asking, "Is this worth giving up future freedom?" That's the real power of delayed gratification. You begin understanding opportunity cost. Every unnecessary purchase has a hidden price. Not just today's money, but tomorrow's growth. That doesn't mean wealthy people never spend. They do, but they spend intentionally, on health, education, skills, experiences, and things that genuinely improve life. They don't spend to impress strangers, because real wealth doesn't need attention. Real wealth is peace of mind, and options are one of the greatest luxuries money can buy. Another change happens as your savings grow. You stop chasing every opportunity. In the beginning, every business idea sounds exciting. Every investment promises quick profits. But experience teaches patience. Not every opportunity deserves your time. Sometimes, the smartest decision is simply saying, not now. Successful investors know that every yes also means saying no to something else. Your time, energy, and attention are limited. That's why patience becomes an advantage. As your financial security grows, your confidence grows too. You negotiate differently. You stay calmer under pressure. And most importantly, you gain the ability to walk away from toxic jobs, bad deals, and decisions made out of desperation. That's real freedom. Not millions of dollars, but enough stability to choose what's best for your future. This is also where many people make a costly mistake. They reward themselves with permanent expenses, a bigger house, a luxury car, a more expensive lifestyle. The problem isn't the reward. The problem is creating bills you'll have to pay every month. Many people unknowingly become trapped by the lifestyle they create. Wealthy people think differently. When their income grows, they buy more freedom before they buy more luxury, because freedom keeps giving. Luxury often keeps costing. So before every major purchase, ask yourself one question: how much freedom am I giving up for this? Once you start thinking that way, wealth stops being something you chase and starts becoming something you naturally build. There's one final lesson that almost nobody talks about. After building your first major financial cushion, you realize something unexpected. Money was never the destination. It was simply the vehicle. The real destination is freedom. Freedom to choose where you work. Freedom to choose who you work with. Freedom to spend more time with the people you love. And freedom to say no without fear. That's what wealth truly buys. Think about two people earning the same income. One has no savings. The other has spent years saving and investing. Who has more freedom? The answer is obvious, because wealth isn't measured only by income. It's measured by the number of choices your money gives you. This is also why experienced investors stay calmer during difficult times. When markets fall, many people panic. They constantly check prices. They wonder if they should sell everything. Experienced investors think differently. But throughout history, patience has rewarded disciplined investors far more often than panic ever has. That's the power of long-term thinking. You stop asking, what will happen this week, and start asking, where could this money be 10 years from now? That single shift changes everything. Over time, your money begins working for you. At first, every dollar comes from your time and effort. But as your investments grow, they begin creating returns of their own. And those returns create even more returns. That's the power of compounding. Like a small snowball rolling down a hill, it starts slowly, but with time, it grows faster and bigger. Wealth follows the same principle. The hardest part is staying patient. Many people give up too early. They expect results within months, when real wealth is built over years. That's why consistency always beats intensity. You don't need one perfect decision. You need hundreds of good decisions repeated over time. Keep investing. Avoid unnecessary debt. Control lifestyle inflation. Stay patient. Repeat, year after year. Eventually, those ordinary habits produce extraordinary results. There's one more lesson worth remembering. Don't waste your life trying to look rich. Many truly wealthy people live simple lives because they understand the difference between looking successful and actually becoming successful. Looking rich costs money. Becoming rich requires discipline, and discipline is built one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one day at a time. If you're still working toward your first $20,000, don't lose hope. Every dollar you save is doing more than growing your bank account. It's building confidence, peace of mind, and a future filled with more choices. And if you've already reached that milestone, keep going. The habits that got you there are the same habits that can take you much further. In the end, money isn't the greatest reward. Freedom is, time is, peace of mind is. That's real wealth. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about making money. We talk about building a life where money works for you, instead of you working for money. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.